Forza Horizon 5 just continues to bring the hype, and we got yet more information today from the Xbox Gamescom stream where we got the opening 8 minutes of gameplay from Forza Horizon 5, and then we also got the latest Let's Go stream from Playground Games, the creators of FH5. So we'll be going into all the details we got to cover all the things you might have missed, and talk about everything we learned in more detail. So right off the bat, we got like 8 minutes of brand new gameplay of basically the first 8 minutes of the game. And in true Forza Horizon style, it's just like a grand, outrageous opening sequence where we're dropping in all these awesome cars from a plane. So we're dropping right in on the top of the volcano in a Ford Bronco, and you go shooting down the side of the mountain. I mean, I think this is like so cool. That is just, I couldn't think of a better way to open. And I'm definitely getting some Fast and Furious vibes from this whole dropping cars out of airplanes thing, especially from the second car, the Stingray, which comes parachuting down onto the road here and heads off into a dust storm. So we get our first look at some dust storm gameplay as well. So that is really cool. And again, I mean, this game is just looking absolutely beautiful. And I was expecting the storms to be big, but actually seeing them in game now, like off in the horizon, they really are, like, the scale is ginormous. So really cool to see how like long it's gonna take to like drive through and all that stuff. Then we're driving through the jungle in a Porsche. And again, I'm just blown away by how beautiful all the environments in this game look. I mean, it's just super impressive. And I cannot wait to go explore. And especially explore all of the temple sites. And I'm kind of expecting them to do some pretty cool stuff with all of the temple sites that they brought into the game, because they've mentioned it a lot and talked about how they want to infuse as much culture of the local country as they can. So I feel like there's going to be something very cool tied into maybe the campaign or something with the old ruins and temples, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then lastly, we drop out of the plane in the new AMG One. Although this drops off much more delicately, we just drive off the back as opposed to parachuting out, which I guess makes sense because it's quite expensive. But as you saw in the thumbnail, it was this car and the Bronco that are going to be the cover cars. Not really much of a surprise there because those have been the two cars featured most prominently, I would say, in the game so far. The only other one would maybe have been the like Toyota Supra or something because they've been talking that up a bunch recently. But either way, at the end of the day, the cover cars to me really aren't that important. It's just kind of showcasing what they want the game to convey, and I feel like it does a good job as always. But yeah, we get to see a wide variety of the map in here. I mean, you start off going down the side of the volcano, and you have all these big set pieces of jumping out of the plane, and it's, you know, it's everything we know and love from the Forza Horizon series. So I can't wait. It's just looking so great. But from there, we can segue into the three cars you get to choose from to start the game. You can choose the C8 Corvette Stingray, the Ford Bronco, or the Toyota Supra GR. And the great thing is, it doesn't matter which one you pick because the other ones will be added to your garage so you can go back and drive them later. So true to their promise from the last stream where they said everybody gets the Toyota Supra and that body kit, you really will, because even if you don't pick it as the first car to drive off with, you can go back into your garage and check it out later. So I love that. Getting all three gives you like a good little start to your garage with some variety there. I think I might be choosing the Ford Bronco first because I just find myself wanting to explore this map as more and more. Like that's the first thing I want to do now is just go and just explore. Less so about like trying to find a crazy car to drive. I want to go explore the map first and then find a crazy car to drive around it. So yeah, I'm super excited. Let's count how many times I can say super excited. Let me know down below which car you guys want to pick to start off with in Forza Horizon 5. And be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Forza Horizon 5 and tons of Forza Horizon 5 content when the game launches this November. So that covers the beautiful gameplay part and what we can expect from the game at least the very beginning. But we did also get a little bit more, you know, beginning game gameplay, if you will, where they gave us a look at a handful of cars and some of the things that will be opened up to us first. And it seems like these might be some of the Horizon stories that they were talking about, because there was one where you need to help a photographer get some photos in a dust storm, and then another one where you're trying to help someone find the Mexican beetle called the Vocho is what it's called. So they didn't give us any more details than that, but we might be getting some info soon. I think said they would be touching on the campaign next, so very excited to hear more about that. I know that's what a lot of people have been asking for, was that kind of single player campaign stuff. So when they first announced it, it was very exciting, although we haven't really gotten pretty much any more details on it since E3. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you are subscribed and go check out my older videos, because we talk about all the info we got in some of the previous streams, so you can stay up to date on everything Forza Horizon 5. But back to what we learned. So in addition to the first 8 minutes, intro gameplay that we also got a look at the first showcase event, and I personally love the showcases, so they've talked about how they're trying to up the ante for themselves, so can't wait to see what they've done. This first one looks pretty cool as you're racing the cargo plane that dropped you in Ken Block's Cosworth. And if you haven't seen it, I have a video on Ken Block's Gymkhana 10 where he drives through Guanajuato, which is going to be the main city in Forza Horizon 5. So that is a great look at what you can kind of expect. So I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to go check that out. But they even talked about how Ken Block and the Gymkhana stuff was like an inspiration for them in this showcase, and they specifically mentioned Ken Block, Gymkhana, and Guanajuato. So I feel like they have to be recreating the Gymkhana 10 where Ken Block goes through there, because this is just like it feels like they're dropping so many heavy hints. At this point I'd be willing to bet money that we're gonna have a Ken Block Gymkhana 10 inspired challenge driving through the streets of Guanajuato in that Ford Focus. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But sticking with these showcases, there will be a total of 4, which, I don't know, how many have there been in the previous games? I feel like that's not a lot, but then if I really think about it, I guess that seems like it's about right. Either way, there's 4 total, and there will be another train-centric showcase, which means that there will be a train showcase in every Forza Horizon game, which I didn't realize, but if you think back, yeah, 100%. So they're sticking with their love of trains, I guess. So in addition to all this other fantastic gameplay and the little factoids I've given you so far, we did get a just kind of like a handful of more kind of random details that they discussed as they were showing us this gameplay. So here are kind of some of the highlights, if you will, or at least what I thought to be the most important bits. There's one section when they're driving the AMG One where you can see in the bottom right hand corner that there's a little icon to push the left stick. So my initial thought was, wait, that's the convertible button, but this isn't a convertible. So they go on to explain that it adjusts the sport mode, so it'll raise the suspension, lower the spoiler, and close the like front aero flaps on the wheels. So that definitely seems like there's going to be more than just kind of toggling stuff for convertibles. There might be some other, cars that have weird features like that you're able to toggle. So I think that could be a very intriguing thing for, not a ton of vehicles, but definitely some for some cool, unique things. But at the very least, more than just lowering and raising a convertible roof. We got to look at a handful of more vehicles. We got to look at the Mark I Ford Escort, which I have to say looks fantastic. But it's kind of a historic rally car because it took part in a rally from UK to Mexico. So it's kind of the transition car, if you will, for the Horizon Festival is what they talked about. So that's pretty cool. Got another Bronco, the Baja version, I think it was called, because they have mentioned before that there's 4 total Broncos. There's the classic one, the new one, and then 2 different kind of racing ones, I believe. This is the Baja one. There's also a gigantic Ford F450. I don't even know. It was one of the gigantic ones, but honestly I don't even remember what the model was, because I just thought it was so funny how the team at Playground was so amazed by how big the American truck was. It's just funny to see the difference from British people to if you live here in America. That truck really doesn't seem all that out of place. Yeah, it's freaking huge, but at the end of the day, it's just another really big pickup truck. We also saw the Porsche Mccann Rally Raid, which is a Dakar-style racer. I believe this one was actually in Dirt 5, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. Again, I think the off-road's going to be really, really awesome in this game. And then lastly, sticking with the cars, well, almost lastly, we got the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, which obviously is all electric, and they're talking about how it apparently drives just like a 911, so very interesting to see. I cannot wait to get my hands on it in game. And then yeah, actually lastly, because they gave us a little bonus car at the end, it's called the Sierra RX3, I believe, but looks kind of like an insane off-road go-kart toy practically. Right off the bat, he crashes it because it's a ton of power being delivered to the rear wheels. So this sounds like the kind of car I will hate in Forza, because I will probably do the same thing. So lots of awesome new cars we got a look at, plus a bunch more of the map. Obviously, farmland has been a key feature in all of the Forza Horizon games, and we got our first really good look at a bunch of the farmlands there. There was an agave field they drove through. couple other different variations, but there was also a kind of tall, I forget what the plant was, but tall fields of, basically cornfields, I guess we'll just call them for purposes of here. But you can leave messages in the cornfields for your friends as you like drive through because it's so tall. So I guess maybe if you drive your drone up, you can look at like crop circles and stuff. So that could be something fun to mess around with people. They also talked again about how the tropical storms will really change the tropical coast dynamics during the storm season. And I have to say, I think that's one of the things I'm most excited for, is just kind of experiencing that in game, because based on how amazing the rest of the game looks, I feel like the storms are going to be really like visceral and fun to kind of drive through. Plus, I feel like they're just like really talking it up every time they talk about the tropical storms and how much it's going to change the dynamics. So again, really excited for that. And as we know, seasons are making their return, but they're not your traditional temperate climate seasons. And we actually finally got the details on what the specific like descriptor is for each season in Forza Horizon 5. So spring is hot, summer is wet, fall is storm, and winter is dry. So that was nice to finally get the kind of details on which season, because like we knew there was going to be like a wet and a storm season and stuff, and they had alluded to which ones would be wet, but it was nice to get them to kind of line it out. Also, we got a good look at how much more like undulating I feel like this map is. Forza Horizon 4 had some good verticality and was definitely more undulaty than previous versions, but this definitely feels like it's going to have some great areas. Probably because it's bigger, so they had more areas of the map where they could fill up with that type of thing. But either way, I mean, it all comes back to just how much variety they've been able to pack into this, what is turning out to be a really awesome map in my opinion. We got our first extended look at the canyon also, which I think I might want to head to first now. I mean, that just is looking super beautiful. Again, it's Copper Canyon. It is a real canyon in Mexico. It's kind of like the Grand Canyon of Mexico, if you will. And we do check that out in the video I have on Microsoft Flight Simulator, checking out some biomes in Mexico that are going to be featured in Forza Horizon 5. So if you're interested, go check that out. And lastly, a little science factoid for all you fellow nerds out there. They talk about the monarch butterfly migration and how during spring there'll be a bunch of monarch butterflies flying around. They even showed them, you could see them in game a little bit there. And I don't know why, but I love that little touch right there, because if you haven't seen what that monarch butterfly migration is like, just Google, or better yet YouTube, the monarch butterfly migration, and it's insane how many there are, and it's just one of those really cool, astonishing things about nature. As a side note, they also announced on the Xbox Gamescom stream that the Xbox Cloud Gaming will be coming to consoles. So that means that if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you'll be able to stream Forza Horizon 5 running on an Xbox Series X to your Xbox One console. So they've effectively found a way to deliver next-gen content to people who haven't upgraded to the new console yet. So if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it's looking like a better and better deal. Now, obviously, you have to have a good enough internet connection, and you won't be able to get the full 4K experience over streaming, but it should run at 1080p 60 if your internet connection can handle it. So while it's definitely not a perfect solution, it's definitely going to open up a fantastic option for a lot of people. I personally am a big fan of Xbox Game Pass, and I do have a few videos of the Xbox Game streaming service, both on mobile and running on a browser on PC. So if you're interested in finding a bit more out about that, go check those out. But I just think that opens up a lot of exciting opportunities for obviously more than just Forza. But I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. I think I'm probably going to head to the canyon first, now that I've seen it in more detail. And they talked about how it's going to have great sunlight in the sunrise and sunset for like photography. Plus, remember, we get that ray tracing audio through there, so you'll hear your engine noises rebounding back on you. Not to mention the aforementioned beautiful light. I think that's going to make for just some incredible experiences driving through there, and for some incredible Forza photographs. Let me know down below what you're going to do first in Forza Horizon 5. And if you enjoyed the video, think about leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Forza Horizon 5 here on the channel. Till next time, guys, stay classy.
This is the final drop!